Good evening, welcome to the latest live edition of Last Ball Boxing. A lot to cover in this live, so we're going to rattle through some of the topics with a lot of things developing. Joined by tonight, Brett from North America. How you going, Brett?
All right, boys.
Mr. Medcalf, thank you for coming back on the channel, mate. What a great edition. How you doing?
All right, mate. All right, mate. Yours?
All good, mate. All good. And then Sean from Brighton. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, all good, thank you. So let's jump into the first topic. We're going to go on to the undercard from Saturday and have a bit of a look at Adam Azim and did we learn anything new? So I'm going to come to Brett first. Brett, what did you think and did we learn anything new?
I was actually quite surprised how tough that Scooby was, because obviously I didn't know much about him, and he was pretty durable on the night. He did what you want him to do. He took his chance and went for it. If you know what I mean. I know he was a bit negative, but he was still solid. And I just think I'm excited about Azim. I'm not saying I learned anything overly new, but I'm excited about his ability and his talent.
All good. Daz, coming to you. I know you're a fan of Adam Azim, but you're also a fan of Dalton Smith. So, and they're going to collide, aren't they? Let's be honest. So, give us your thoughts, mate.
I think we learned that Adam Azim carries power late into a fight. He is very sharp, very fast. I know the DAZN team was making a big thing of timing beats speed, which is true. But Azim seems to carry his speed all the way through. Now, doesn't seem to lose speed or power. He's got some bad habits though that I think Dalton and his team would be looking at. Seems to lean back a little bit to avoid a shot. Seems to turn his head. Whether that's to ride a shot, that's all right riding single shots. But Dalton will punch in combination. But listen, I'm a big fan of both. Big fan of Azim as well. I was impressed. I was impressed with him.
Sean, coming to you. Give us your thoughts, fella, about the performance.
Yeah, I think he done what he had to do, really, didn't he? Like Brett was saying, I didn't know too much about Scooby, but he showed his toughness. I don't think I was too overly impressed with Azim, I have to be honest. I think when you compare him with Dalton Smith, even though at this stage of their career at least, I think Dalton Smith beats him quite handily, to be honest, at this stage.
You preempted my next question, so I've already got your answer now. I'll come to Brett next. 2 parts, Brett. Are they waiting for Dalton to get old? And does he beat Dalton Smith?
Yeah, there's layers and layers, so I'll just keep it simple. I think they're probably trying to age him a little bit, but also marinate it a little bit more for more Bunsen burner. Because I don't know if it's the right fight to make, but I don't know if it's the right fight financially that they want a big massive payday for. But current versus current, I'd have to sway with Dalton on this one.
Same question to you, Daz. Strategic player, and who do you think wins when they do jump in?
I mean, they say they're waiting for Dalton to get old, but they could also be wanting to push that fight because they want Azim while he's still young.
Good point.
It can work both ways. And that's always going to come into effect, whatever the result is. If it happens, I mean, let's say Dalton beats Matthias and it's next.
Does he, Daz? Does he?
Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, I think he will. Yeah, he's got every chance.
Just that
Step up,
just that
mate.
Go on,
Brett. Yeah, it's a step. I mean, Dalton's not looked great in his last couple of fights either, to be fair. I mean, if Dalton loses...
Has he been frustrated? Has he been frustrated? Like, in terms of, he wants to get some money going, doesn't he?
Yeah, possibly. But you're a professional fighter. You've got a job to do.
Yeah.
You can't... Because if you're going to let that affect your performances... what you're going to do when you're in the proper pressure cooker.
Good point.
You know, so yeah, frustration could have come into it, I suppose, and it might be a learning curve for Dalton to not try and let things outside the ring get to him, things that are probably beyond his control. If it happens now or next after Dalton beat Matthias, I mean, if Dalton beats Matthias, yeah, I think that's going to make him go up another level, confidence wise. I think it'll be a tight fight, to be honest, even now. But I would edge towards Dalton, to be fair.
Yeah. I think Dalton Smith is going to get better with the better opponent he faces. That's my opinion. Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to the next topic. I'm a little bit gutted about this one. Obviously, I think Jack Catterall's shown his level this weekend and maybe shown he's got a bit more left in the tank than I gave him credit for, if I'm honest. So I'll probably come to you first, Daz. Give us your breakdown. And where would you take Catterall next?
It's a tough one, this, because Catterall started off really well and then he just reverted to type. He just started to go negative for me again. I think it was a little bit of a controversial ending, if I'm honest. But credit to Echo, I mean, and his team, they didn't really make a fuss of it, to be honest. I think had that happened to Jack, we'd have seen a different reaction. Weak refereeing, if I'm honest. Very, very weak refereeing. I mean, I'm not a ref, but I've been in enough fights to know that if you're going to be a ref and you're going to break two fighters, don't sharp break from 7 foot away. You know, step in first. Step in, shout it as you're stepping in, or get close enough to shout it as you're stepping in. Say break, put your arms in between them and move them apart. He just seemed to, well, I don't know what he was doing, to be fair. You know, let's give Catterall some credit as well for after that. You know, there were no celebrations. He went and knelt down and made sure Echo was all right. So, you know, let's give Jack a lot of credit for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't help but think that Echo was coming back, putting pressure on him, you know, having it his way. And then I just think it soured it a bit. You know, bad refereeing soured it for me.
And where do you think Catterall's going next then, Daz? Are they going to run it back, do you think? Or is
I'm not sure. I'm not sure they're going to run it back, mate. I'm not sure about that. I don't think they're going to. But at the same time, mate, I don't think he's going to beat any at champions at that way either.
Yeah, fair enough.
Deserves a shot though. You know, deserves a shot.
Okay, thank you very much. Brett, coming to you. Same question, breakdown, and where do you think he goes next?
Yeah, Daz has summed it up perfectly. I think we saw a different fighter, or a different style, or a little bit of energy from Catterall, and then Echo started to work his way back in, where he started picking up rounds, didn't he? Started comfortably picking up rounds, and I almost feel like once the eye was starting to close, it made Echo force the fight a little bit more. Because he was probably worried about it getting stopped because it was closing, and then he obviously had one on the bridge on the nose. But you've got to give him credit. He did let his hands go for the finish, and I think to add on to what you said, the team didn't kick right off in the aftermath. I think probably down to Catterall's sportsmanship. Like the way he's got down on his knees and he was almost apologizing to the corner, and he was there with him whilst he had the oxygen mask on. I think he kind of knows it was shitty refereeing that allowed him to start the attack off, but he finished him very, very well. And Echo's a top man, and he ain't seen any social media posts from him saying it was a robbery. He hasn't seen nothing. Just takes his loss. On he goes. You know, hopefully that's not the last time we see of him, because he's done himself super proud in his last couple of fights. And I'm just happy. I mean, I've seen some figures. It looks like he got some decent enough dough. and they move on. But where does Catchell go next? Well, after doing that, he's going to have to get a shot at somebody, isn't he?
Yeah.
But who are they going to put him in with? Because we Daz and I were speaking separately, and we talked about the type thing. He's still got that in him where he can go back and win a fight by grabbing and holding and hugging and spoiling, and is the money there? Because if all accounts is right on the undercard of this Benn, he got 500 grand for this last fight. I mean, if he wants that type of money somewhere, who's going to pay it? One, and can you trust him to put on a show for the amount of money he's going to want for his next fight?
Yeah, I wonder about does he shift tickets? It's another concern of mine.
I don't think he's. I mean, he's got Chorley behind him, and and the Manchester crowd. But ultimately, yeah, I don't know if he's a massive ticket seller. I mean, you guys would know more about that than I would.
What concerned me a little bit as well, I think I said it to you, Brett, as well, is what he was doing with the jab. He was pouring with the jab. Now, that's all well and good because he was setting the left hand up from it.
Yeah.
But it was very, very, very predictable with it. Now, for me, and this is no slight on Echo's team, but had Echo slipped to the outside of the jab, thrown the right hand down the middle, he takes away Catchell's left hand, and then he's also primed for his own left hook, and he's not really going to face that himself. And he's not really going to be in much danger because Catchell's right hand's gone over him and past him. So he's on the attack with little danger coming back.
You were screaming for that from round one, weren't you?
Yeah. And a world-class fighter is going to make that adjustment themselves. Listen, no disrespect to Echo, but a top draw fighter is going to make that. He was just a little too predictable, with what he was doing. Listen, he landed it and it got him the knockdown, but it was a little too predictable for me. Just that simple switch, I think, could have probably turned the fight on its head in Echo's favour.
I'll bring Sean in. Sean, same question to you. Give us your breakdown and what would you do with Catchell next?
I think he looked good enough, really. As the guys have said from the start, he had the Ennis style, if you want to call it that. Then he just reverted back to type. But I think someone who they will put him in with, it's an easy fight to make, and that's Lewis Crocker. I know he was crying out for the Conor Benn fight, but I think still he needs a bit of his profile rising. Jack Cattrall's knowing a little bit at least, so I think that's a natural fight for him, and I can see that early portion of next year.
Good shout.
Good shout. Very good shout. Okay, let's move on to the headline. What I would say is, obviously, I was lucky enough to be there. What a roar in Tottenham Hotspur when Benn arrived at the stadium. It really did define. When people are saying it was a 50-50 split in the crowd and all things like that, no way was it 50-50. I've never heard a roar like it. So let's start with Sean on this one. So Sean, obviously, you're a Brighton boy. No doubt you had flags for Eubank Jr. to win.
Hey, I can't let it go. Before you bring Sean in, you must have talked about being ringside for this fight more than Carl talked about knocking goes out in front of 80,000, mate. This is your new tagline. Sorry, Sean, but it just makes me chuckle when he says it because the amount I've had to hear it. I can't
believe you're pointing it on me when we're going to be going to AJ next.
All right. Sean. Sorry, Sean.
Yeah, I'll do that as well, Brett. I'll do that. Go on, Sean, before you're rudely interrupted.
Yeah, it was extremely disappointing, I have to say. A good point you made, Carl, actually, when we were speaking yesterday, when you mentioned that he didn't jump over the top rope. And, from the start, that looking back on it, that's obviously his signature move, or his trademark, if you want to call it that. So obviously something was off with him. I mean, there was rumours that he'd done his shoulder a while ago in camp. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what the rumblings I've heard, at least. I think it's going to be the end of him now, to be honest. I don't think his heart's in it anymore. I think he was obviously in it for the money, as as we know. So I think we'll fail to see him in the ring again. And I think he'll, a bit like James DeGale, to be honest, I think he'll just slip off to the background now, and we won't see or hear from him for a good while to come.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I mentioned once or twice, Daz, I was ringside, so I wouldn't have heard Dad's own commentary. But by all accounts, didn't Eubank Jr. say, I need you to let me know when there's 30 seconds left in the round?
I don't know, mate, to be fair. I didn't really hear it. I would hear anything like that. I was just more baffled by... There was clearly something wrong with him. Clearly.
Yeah. He had nothing, did he? He had
No. He had
no.
no...
All off.
He had no speed, no snapping his shots. His reactions weren't there. Do you know what it looked like to me? It looked like someone who'd had a stomach bug or something, or a food poisoning or something like that. Drained, totally drained. Because even if you weight drained, you rehydrate, you find something, you know, that just looked like he'd got absolutely... It did look like a shell. It looked like he'd got nothing at all.
He didn't even rehydrate back up to the full weight, though, Daz. Did he? That's something that baffles me.
Yeah. Listen, let's call it for what it is, mate. It's a circus, isn't it? This Eubank Benn thing, you know, it's a circus, but it's a circus that draws a big, massive crowd, and a circus that makes a lot of money. I just think this is no disrespect to Conor, because Conor did what he needed to do, but I think it's flattered Conor a little bit. But you know, listen, give him his dues. He seems like a likable kid, and thing is, I know we've gone on what's happened in past with these failed tests. But listen, if we're going to do that, we're not going to talk about Fury anymore. We're not going to talk about Canelo. You know, we've got to not be hypocrites. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Listen,
You've got
there's
to
no
draw a line
one.
under it sooner or later, haven't you?
Yeah. There's no one more anti performance enhancers than me. And you know, I gave Conor some stick, but he took some lumps in that first Eubank fight, and yeah, listen, he showed that he's got some heart, and he wants to do this. So listen, let's draw a line under it, and let's judge him from now.
Just a quick one for you, Daz. Did he get back down to 147?
Yeah, we could do. I don't really. I don't. It didn't look like he'd put muscle on to me. It looked like he just was thick and, you know, heavy. So it might be a lot easier for him to go back down. I mean, there's a fight with Cattrall there for him as well, isn't there? You know, Crocker wants the Benn fight because obviously that's the money. There's some fights there for him. There's some fights there for him at 154 as well, to be honest.
154 is a killer, though, isn't it? Killer.
Yeah, I mean, listen, he'd probably be best served swerving, especially swerving Ennis and Ortiz. Yeah, 147 is probably his best chance of winning a world title. But like I say, you know, we've got to draw a line under the past. But I think as far as Junior is concerned, it looks like it's time for him to make a decision on his future.
Yeah,
I mean, by all accounts, he's got twins on the way. You know, he's obviously not short of a few bob. He's got his faculties, still talks well. So, you know, maybe make a decision on your future.
Yeah. Rep, bringing you in, same question, fella. Give us your thoughts.
Listen, I think Eubank's been shot since Smith knocked him out. If we're brutally honest, and I know he got the get back on him, but that we know that Smith came into that camp all messed up. So what I would say is he had an out in that first match because they're both. I think Conor's got potential because he's still only young, But at that first match, it's two bang average British fighters going after each other, and I think Chris had an out of body experience that night. I think he fought for the family name and just gave everything, and I think he just put it all on the line. Because you're right, no one in the circles is getting excited by that performance by Conor Benn. It's just he did what he had to do. He jabbed body head, turned the corner, and went to work like he'd go in a hard spar. And Chris just, you're right, Chris just didn't have anything. So I would suggest that, yeah, Chris is probably finished. But I really, really do respect. I've got a lot more respect for Eubank now. He's obviously played the villain. He knows what he's doing when he's shut Eddie down. He is pantomime. He's earned a few more bits of money from being pantomime. And he looked at him differently after the final bell when he went over to him. He looked at him differently. He looked at him, gave him the nod of approval, and was like, "We've made a lot of money out of this, and we never thought we would." So I don't. Of course, he's not going to be waking up crying in his cornflakes the next morning. I don't think Eubank's made like that. Ben woke up crying his eyes out. He's just like 1-1. I don't care. Whatever. Look at my bank balance. And I think that's how he works, because he knows deep down he wasn't right. Somewhat wasn't right. It's a good shout again, Daz. Maybe there's a viral infection that's took him just because he just looked weak at everything. And to finish it, where does Conor Benn go? I think they're going to make that Barrios fight, because he screams Barrios' name every 2 seconds.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that, because he's better off going to a Barrios and losing to him than he is going to a Crocker or losing to Crocker or losing to Cattrall. He's better off losing to spinning it. You know what I mean? Well, I dared to be great. I took on Barrios. Whereas he'll shout now saying that he beats Crocker. Crocker's a hard night's work for anybody.
Yeah. Agreed. Oh. Okay. Breaking news that I thought I'd throw into the show. Fabio Wardley, obviously Usyk's vacated as of this evening. So Fabio's a fully fledged WBO world champion of the world. So I'll come to you first on this, Daz. What do you take from Usyk vacating?
Not a lot.
No dough in it against Wardley, do you think?
Probably no dough, and probably I'm not saying Usyk's scared of him, but it's probably little reward for a bit of a risk. Listen, he can bang. He can bang, and listen, I've said it time and time again. Usyk is not elusive. He can be with his feet, but he gets caught. He's got a very clever ring IQ, but he's not exactly, like Naz elusive at the start. He can get hit.
Yeah, does this lean itself towards that April date against Fury that they keep putting out?
Well, the interesting thing is that Turkey was talking. What he was saying was it's going to be AJV Fury next September. The way the thing he was talking. So, you don't know, but Fabio. Listen, I'm made up for Fabio. What a story!
Yeah,
what a story.
I've had him losing, Daz, since Nathan Gorman.
Yeah.
How I am.
Yeah, no, mate. Honestly, listen, listen, I can't change my mind on it. He is a loss waiting to happen, but whenever he's on his feet, mate, he can knock you out.
Yeah,
and he's an exciting fighter. I'd actually pay to watch him.
Yeah,
and he seems like a proper nice kid as well.
I think he appreciates what he's got, Dad. I know he's worked hard for it, but he appreciates what he's
earning. Yeah, definitely. I just think that, Usyk probably wants a couple more massive paydays, big, massive fights. I mean, I can see Usyk's point of thinking, well, if I fight Wardley, it's Usyk v Wardley, people are going to be like, yeah, well, he probably should have lost to Justice only if Justice had been a bit more disciplined.
Can't win, really, can it?
Yeah, no. So, I think Usyk's probably going to have to wait and see about probably Fury. I I can't see anyone else who Usyk could generate interest against, to be honest.
Yeah.
Whereas Fury generates interest v Usyk, v Joshua, maybe v Wardley himself. But yeah, listen, today's Fabio's day, and I made up for him. He deserves it, and Britain's got a world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, and it shows everyone does, doesn't it? You know, if a kid's got a dream and you're willing to work hard enough, you can achieve it. Right?
Mate, listen. We're going to talk about it next. Jake Paul's the epitome of that, innit?
Yeah.
Dares to be great. Nah, I thought I'd get a smile from Brett then.
I'm waiting for you like to pelt me in the next 5 minutes, mate.
No, but no, listen, Fabio's, good luck to him. Made up for him.
Fair enough, Daz. Fair enough. Sean, coming to you, same question.
Yeah, I echo what Daz has just said there, really. I mean, it's a great story where he's come from. Seems a great bloke, so what an achievement. Be interesting to see who they put him in with for his first defence. I'm presuming they'll go back to Portman Road early next year, maybe. I think Usyk, the other guy potentially who he can jump in with is Opataya. I know he's going to cruiserweight for that, but I think that will be a massive fight for him. A decent payday, I imagine, as well.
Massive.
Yeah, I wants to clean up at cruiser first, though, don't you?
That's a great shout, that, Sean, because that's a natural route to Usyk for Opataya.
Yeah.
Brett, bringing you in, give us your thoughts.
Yeah, brilliant news for Fabio. It's hard to match Usyk with anyone, so it's a strange decision. I just hope that they've not done this after Moses comes out next time to then throw the young lion at him. I hope that that's not the case. I'd like for Moses to have a few more fights before he goes anywhere near him. But money talks, as we've seen with what we're about to talk about. And then the only other thing is, and you'll know this, but that gym is about to start getting spread apart. That Ben Davidson gym, they're going to start. They're going to all go off in different directions, because maybe Joshua knocks him out. Maybe Joshua looks at Fabio and says, "I'll take him on for the world title because he wants the world title." Moses will be licking his lips now. That's a natural thing for Moses to want to take the title. So unfortunately for Ben, he's going to have some decisions to make, and we all know who he'll probably hold on to.
Yeah. Although he's not Fabio's head coach, though, is he? I know he plays a part in the team. So, yeah, it's an interesting one.
You ought to keep them in the same area, though, won't it, mate, if they want to kill each other?
Yeah. So, there's only one last place to go in there. And, I'm going to come to Brett last on this one, because I think he deserves to close the show out. So, I'm going to come to Sean first. Sean, I'm not going to sway what you say, so I won't give a little intro. Give us your thoughts on this announcement today.
Yeah, well, I think we're obviously seeing £1 for pound legend of the sport. He's my idol. I think he's going to be the next star of the heavyweight division when he wins, and that's Jake Paul. No, only joking. It's a farce, isn't it? I mean, we all know what it is, really, but fair play to AJ. He's getting, 50 million by all accounts for a 1 or 2 minute run out. So can't fault that. But the only grievance I have, if you can call it that, really, is if they're speaking about him fighting a Fury or someone of that level straight after, you would think he probably needs a bit better preparation than a guy from Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And I hear, Sean, it's not going to be an exhibition, it's going to be cast as an official fight. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, again, that doesn't sit too comfortably with me. But to be honest, who am I to judge? I think it's going to be over as quick as it starts, to be honest, if there's no restrictions on AJ or if there's not anything ridiculous. Yeah, I think it's just going to be a quick 37 job, 50 million banked, and then on to the next one.
Okay, coming to Daz next, and obviously Daz, a vague link with MVP via one of your fighters, so we've always admired Jake Paul from a promotional aspect, but maybe not so much from a fighting aspect. But give us your thoughts.
Listen, my my opinion's the same, mate. He's off his rocker, mate. You know, if he, you know what I mean. If he's going into a proper fight with Anthony, 10-ounce gloves, no silly rules, mate. I don't know if to admire him or vote for him to be committed. Um, you know, I think I've got a bit of admiration for him, but it just shows you money doesn't buy sense. Um, I, I, I've got to admire him if I'm honest. You know, I've got to sort of tip my hat to him and say you've got some balls on you, kid. Now, if it goes ahead like that, then I'll have utmost respect for him for his courage and everything. But then if he starts with the silly rules, you know, like Anthony can only have one foot on the canvas at a time when he's punching, you know, stuff like silly things, then yeah, it sort of takes away from it. Mate, I really don't know what to say about it other than the man's obviously a little bit of a lunatic. Do you know what I mean? It's
And Daz, let's say Jake Paul walked into your gym and asked you to put a game plan together. What the hell are you telling him?
well, to be fair, mate. To be fair, game plan's pretty easy for him to beat Anthony. Get some shorts, make sure there's pockets on them so you can fit a baseball bat in, some knuckle dusters, probably a 9mm Beretta or something, and you might have a chance. No, mate, what can he do? I mean, the only way he could possibly have, and listen, I'm talking 99.9.9 of a 9% here, is to just to fly at AJ and just have a go. You know, he's not going to win him backing up, is he?
No.
He's not going to win him if he does that, to be fair. I mean, let's be right.
Yeah.
But that's the only chance he's got. In a proper fight, that's the only chance he's got.
And what about Florida commissioning this fight, Daz?
Well, I mean, it's about as good as WBA, isn't it?
I mean, one of the most lenient commissions in the US strategically placed this fight, I'd suggest.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I just don't get it. I really don't. I just think it's madness. I mean, all pressure's on Anthony as well. He's got all the pressure on him. If he doesn't demolish him in a round, then you know what happens then? Mate, I'm baffled by it. It's a money issue, isn't it? It's a money issue, plain and simple. Jake Paul, right, has got that much money. He wants to get in with these people, like he did Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
he's got that much money. He wants to get in with Tyson. He's got that much money. He wants to get in with Joshua. Do you know what I mean? But I was saying today, you know, just quickly, I was saying today that Anthony's been boxing since probably we're 10, 11, 12. Jake Paul has been boxing 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mean this in a bad way to Jake, but has he ever really been it of someone like Anthony Joshua? Yeah, I'm not being funny. But Anthony Joshua could break his neck.
Yeah.
It could seriously damage him. You know, listen, I've been off heavyweights myself, and it hurts.
Well, look at the size of Ngannou, Daz. Look at the size of Ngannou, and he absolutely poleaxed him.
Mate, folded him. Francis Ngannou, right, takes knees to the, knees to the head, everything. AJ's hit him, mate, and flat packed him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And I don't care how many neck exercises Jake Paul does in the lead up to this fight. If he gets it, well, rightly by AJ, but wrongly for him, mate, it can cause some serious damage.
Yeah.
You know, no one wants to see that. You know, it's just. Part of me hopes that Jake does come up with all these silly stipulations and that, but then
AJ's credibility's gone.
Yeah, then AJ's credibility is gone.
If he stops him with a body shot, then you know.
Oh, definitely.
If he stops him with a body shot, that might be the thing. I've got to shoot in a second, lads, but that might be the thing where in one of the rules is, look, we know you're going to knock him out. You know you're going to clean him out. But can you knock him out to the body? Can you jab him up top and can you smash his body to bits? And that might be the thing. The only fun little theory that I've got on it, I mean, I'm ready to take all pelts for this because ultimately it is a stain on boxing. But then you look again, if he does do it properly and he gets him out of there in one round, or as I said earlier on a tweet, I'll give him the first round to take the piss and tap him on the head a little bit. But then if it goes past 2 rounds, then we all know he's been paid off because it's really just ridiculous. Yeah. There's, as you know, Daz, there's so many levels to this game. Yeah. There's so many levels. Like someone walking in off the street that wants to spar me is going to get their head taken off, right? But then I walk into a proper boxing gym and I'm going to get my head taken off. Like, do you know what I mean? And we're talking, all right, he's been knocked out. He's been knocked out by Daniel Dubois, but we're talking about a serious heavyweight of our generation.
But what would Daniel Dubois do to him?
Same.
He's the same. Yeah, he's not as though AJ's lost to idiots, is it?
No.
So the only other thing I can think here, and I'll leave you pondering with this, is he cashing himself out, Jake Paul? And he's going to say, because where does he go after this? Who does he fight? Because he's never going to fight a real boxer, just in case. So Andy Joshua knocks him out in a round. He earns all this money. And he almost says, "That's me done now with the fighting game. I'm gonna concentrate on being a world class promoter because I try. You know, I could spin it. I tried my best to beat the former heavyweight champion of the world. I've been in there with Mike Tyson. Because hell
of a dangerous way to go out, though.
Yeah, of course it is, mate. But this, like you said, other than being psychotic and a bit strange." What is the reason for money? Yeah, for Jake Paul, but like if it's a genuine fight, there is health concerns here. There just is.
Yeah. Sorry, mate. Better fighters than Jake, tougher fighters than Jake, have been injured in this sport.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit alarming.
That's why I'm telling you, mate. You know, my theory is if he's allowed to get after him, it will be to the body, and he'll break his ribs. He'll smash him to bits. But anyway, boys, I've got to shoot. Are you bringing it to a close anyway, mate?
I'll bring it to a close. So, okay. Daz, thank you very much for joining, fella. Much appreciated.
Pleasure, mate.
Sean, cheers for joining, fella. Thanks for the input. Brett, enjoy the rest of your day, mate. Thanks for joining as well. You AJ fanboy.
Get me that media pass for Florida.
Yeah, I'll see what I can do. I'll phone you, don't you phone me. Is that how it's going? This has been Last Bell Boxing, proudly sponsored by Shard Building Services and SC Travel. We will see you on the next show. Thanks again, boys. Over and out.
See you later, boys.